Are you sure?
No, we're not covering the Epstein files. What's up, you guys? Welcome and welcome back to The Real Piper Reese. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and hit the bell so you know when we post the next video. In an attempt to provide some positivity online in this scary world, today we are covering r/funny stories. Let's jump into the first story. Alright, so this one's called The Irony of Eyeglass Repair Kits, which I probably could use. I decided to fix my glasses myself like a true DIY pro. I bought one of those fancy eyeglass repair kits, you know, with the microscopic screws and that screwdriver so tiny it could double as an elf's toothpick. Feeling all confident, I carefully opened the kit, taking out the minuscule screws and the world's smallest screwdriver. I was ready for action. Then I took off my glasses to tighten the screws, and I immediately realized I couldn't even see the screws. They were so tiny they might as well have been dust particles. Suddenly I was squinting harder than ever, like a nearsighted pirate hunting for treasure. And there I was, trying to fix the one thing that could help me see. But I couldn't see it to fix it in the first place. At that moment I thought, this must be how T-Rex feels trying to clap. I understand this. I can't see anything. I'm kind of used to not seeing anything, and it feels like anything that helps me see better, I just have a new vision problem, so I feel this, and it would be impossible to do anything to actually put the glasses together when you don't even have the ability to see the glasses. They should think about that. Why don't they send a magnifying glass with the repair kit? I feel like that would be the solution. I think we solved this one, folks. Dear Reddit, the solution is sending a mini magnifying glass with the eye repair kit. Let's move on to the next one. So this one's just called Cold, ? Let's investigate. So this happened very recently. Scratch that, this happened today. Interesting. So I work at Burger King making burger. Okay, you know what I mean. And we have an app. You can use the code to get rewards like most fast food places. I was taking orders through the drive-thru though, and a man came in saying he had a cold. I asked him to repeat himself. Same thing, a cold. I responded with, well, I hope you get better. I mean, what else do you tell someone with a cold, in parentheses? Then he drove off. I was super confused, thinking he was rude. I later retold my manager the story, and she laughed her butt off at me. I was so confused until she told me he meant he had a code. Super embarrassing. I have a small brain. That is a very bad drive-thru mishap. I would think that would happen a lot, especially since the
distorted sound of the drive-thru is never really clear.
I probably can assume that this happens often. If you have a story like this, please let us know in the comments. We could read it next time, folks. This next one's called Being on Hold for 2.5 hours, which before we get to this, I will say, I have definitely been on hold for customer service for a long time. If you have, please tell us those stories in the comments as well. I am not good at just hanging up and not dealing with it. I will stay on the phone for a very long time. And I'm very nice. I'm always very nice to customer service because I've worked in customer service and I know anything I'm dealing with usually has nothing to do with the person I'm talking to on the phone. But I will stay on the phone for a very long time with customer service. Let me know if you're the same way. Let's jump into the story. Being on hold for 2.5 hours. Try number 2. During COVID, when they gave out all the pandemic unemployment money, I had to call the customer service number of US Bank because that's where the money was being sent. I was put on hold for literally 2.5 hours. I thought we'd get to this part. I have a screenshot of the call, in parentheses. I don't know why this Redditor thinks we would not believe them. I think we all believe most of what we see on Reddit, whether or not we should. Do you know what listening to 2.5 hours worth of hold music does to your brain? Yes, I personally actually do in this given case. It makes you want to totally act a fool. Complete insanity. True. Finally, when the representative answered the phone, she goes, "Thank you so much for calling such and such. My name is Patience. How can I help you?" After me waiting all that time, her name is really going to be Patience? Some nerve she has. What are the chances of that? Anyways, she was very kind and helpful, and at least I was given a good story to tell later. Yeah, maybe they should put this woman on like the shifts where there's not a lot of people calling so that when people get on the phone, they didn't have to exhibit patience while waiting to speak to her. That is a very strange situation. I have not run into this one. If you have spoken to a patient after a long wait on a phone, I want to know about it. I want to know how common this is. Moving on. This one is called Strange Anti-Bullying Advertisement, and since we are going to read a funny story pertaining to anti-bullying, I just want to put a disclaimer here that I do take bullying very, very seriously, and you should too. With that being said, let's read the story. So at my school, in about February, my school called everyone down for an assembly in the gym. It was another one of those anti-bullying assemblies that they would hold about every January or February. So like they always showed the same video, kindness gets around, and the other norms. But then at the end of the assembly, they had a Q&A with students that were bullied. So in the presentation, it did a flash through of about 4 to 6 kids. But eventually, I suppose they ran out of kids. So they just showed a bunch of child actors, including the actor for the Russell character from the Darman videos, and the entire gym just started laughing. And the principal was so pissed that the assembly was just called off and we joked about the day for the rest of the semester. That is horrible. Oh my goodness. And this is what I see a lot, especially working in advertisement. Whenever they're trying to advertise something that really is meant well and really important, a lot of the times they will just miss the mark and then they blame the kids for not taking the concept seriously. And I feel like kids do innately, especially recently, take bullying and stuff like that seriously. They learn about it through social media, even if they're not great at putting their phone down. Anti-bullying is still something they're going to hear about. It's not that they're too immature for the conversation or not taking it seriously. It's that the way it's presented to them is never taken seriously. And I feel like that's a big issue with trying to teach kids important subjects like this and instilling it into them. Like this goes back to the videos they'll show you of drunk driving in school, and people have made fun of those since the 90s. So I feel like it's really interesting in the sense of media needs to do a better job at portraying serious content, even if it is just self-aware when it is humorous and then redirects to a more serious approach. That is my idea on that. I think that it is often presented very badly. If you guys don't know, I did do a short film about anti-bullying that I do feel was presented correctly. It is very dark, so definitely don't watch it if you are on the younger end. If you feel like you can handle a lot of dark content, it's called From Under the Bridge When Bullies Become Trolls. Very proud of that film and how it came out. I really do like it a lot. Let's get on to more funny stories though and stay away from the dark stuff for today.
Hey you guys, what's up? It's Ad Piper here in a different shirt to talk to you guys today about Goalie. The first Goalie item I want to talk about is the matcha. Matcha Mind helps me narrow down my caffeine use, especially since I'm always making content, and it genuinely is my favorite Goalie gummy. The second one I'm going to talk to you about is ashwagandha, which is meant to help with stress over time. I still got to be a little bit more consistent on this one, but I am excited to be taking it. And finally, we have, where's the ACV? Oh, thank you. We have ACV, which is your apple cider vinegar gummy, a much yummier form of taking your apple cider vinegar to help with bloating and stuff like that right before a meal. I've been taking this one 1 to 2 times a day and can definitely personally recommend it to you. On my TikTok right now, you can go ahead and get this Goalie bundle with my code on any of those videos I have it linked on. There's a ton of them. Go ahead and click on any of my high reviewed videos and you'll probably find a Goalie one. Thank you guys so much for watching this ad break, and now back to the video. So the next one's called Being Bullied by Birds in My Own Home. And I get bullied by cats in my own home often, so I can only imagine. I think they nested nearby. I normally sit outside to drink my coffee, and I've noticed the crow sitting outside, sitting on the power line often. Thought I was Snow White for a second and decided to go outside. Sounds like something I would do. Thinking he would be my friend. He kept cawing and then swooped down onto my deck where the railing was, cawed 3 times, then left to the back of the power line in the yard. There's 3 trees too, so it's difficult to see any nesting. I eventually realized there was 2 of them, both cawing at me and eventually swooping right over my head. I could feel the wind from them flying on the top of my head. My hair moved around. I just thought it was a funny experience. A week before that, I had noticed that very crow cawing at a cat in the yard too for a long time. I thought it was interesting. It did get to a point where I couldn't even leave to go outside on the deck, or they would caw and fly at me. They definitely don't like me, and I might give them peanuts as a peace offering. Sounds like you better offer them a peace offering soon. It's a little too Hitchcock for me on this one. Pretty funny, but also I'm scared. Let me know what you think. We got a short but sweet one here. I thought a girl was so cute, so I asked her if she likes spinach. I was a very awkward kid, so I definitely understand where you're coming from on this one, not gonna lie. A year or 2 back, I thought that this girl was really cute. One day I ran into her at a restaurant and went up to talk to her. She greeted me with a smile and said, "Hey." I smiled and said hey back, and that's where SHTF. My brain friend and I stuttered a few times before I blurted out, "Hey, you like spinach?" She replied with, no, not really, and walked away and never talked to me again. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the same luck Popeye would have had if he didn't find olive oil. This next one's called My Boyfriend and His Friend Have a Conversation with Me in Their Sleep. So, me, 15-year-old, boyfriend, 16-year-old, we'll call him Cheeseburger, Never heard that for a Reddit name before. We both agreed not to have sleepovers until I feel comfortable staying the night at someone else's house besides mine and my best friend's house, so we sleep OTP. One night he spent the night at his friend's house. We'll call his friend Jellybean. Again, very interesting choice for the Reddit names here. They all were about to go to sleep, and so was I. So we all go to sleep, and he forgot to go on mute after an hour of them sleeping and me trying to sleep. I hear Jellybean in his sleep say, "I can't find it, cheeseburger." My boyfriend says, "I think I have it over here." Me. "What are y'all talking about?" My boyfriend and Jellybean. "Be quiet, you dragon." Me. "Excuse me?" Jellybean. "Hand me the plug." Me. My boyfriend. "Don't sound so confused. You unplugged the sun dragon. We have to plug it back in." After that, they didn't say anything else and I went to sleep. I knew they both slept talked, but never them having conversations with each other. I knew it's a common thing, but never heard them sleep talk to each other. I thought this was funny and wanted to share a smile. If y'all want to hear more, just share or comment. That is hilarious. That is pretty funny. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing with the world. We approve it. Big fan of this moment. My wife and I typically spend time chatting and being goofy before bed. One night we were being particularly rowdy and had the lights off but the TV on. I feel like most people do this. My wife suddenly panics because she sees not this. I am extremely arachnophobic. I call them S words, so we will be using that term throughout the rest of the story in attempts to avoid giving them more power by using their name. S word on the ceiling. I quickly hopped up on the bed to squash it, but my head was swiftly met by our ceiling fan. I forgot our ceiling fan was on full speed and it bashed me right against my forehead, knocking me off the bed and landing on the floor. I was completely stunned, but my wife witnessed the entire thing and was uncontrollably laughing. I would not be laughing. I would be like the S word one. See what it does? It brings bad luck upon you and your family. Just saying, they're evil. They're scary. They're terrifying. All right, I do want to read one of the comments on here because I thought this was hilarious. Glad you're okay, but that's hilarious. Curious though. Paper covers rock, scissors cut paper. Rock breaks scissors. Concussion squashes S word? Yeah, because the S word died laughing. Seriously, what happened to the S word? That's what I'm asked an old arachnophobic woman. I am the old arachnophobic woman that wants to know what happened to the S word in the situation because I would not be laughing if it was still alive. If it wasn't alive, I might be laughing though. Then I could enjoy it. All right, you guys, that's all the stories we have for today. Thank you so much for reading r/funny stories with me. I sincerely appreciate you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked the video. Don't like the video if you didn't like the video. And please comment your funniest story. Let us know if you want us to read it on the show. I'd be happy to do that with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Piper out. And now, back to the video. Oops.
That was actually great.
Okay. I'm giving Cartman energy right now. I can't. Okay.
Number 2, being on hold with lady named Patience. 3, 2. Are you sure?
No, I'm not doing it. Let's skip this one.
3, 2.
In an attempt, let's jump into the first. All right, so this one's called Funny Story. Kind of ironic.